Hey guys, welcome to episode 1 of F1 Goes Meow. My name's Kshitj, and here with me I have Drax
Hello everyone.
and Raul today. But today we'll be speaking about the 2019 German GP, which I think was one of the best races. Actually, I think it's the best race of the 2019 season, filled with surprises, and
I would even go as far as to say the best race of the decade, man.
it could have been. It is definitely a contender for the best race of the decade.
Well, it was. I would agree with Raul here because if you see Mercedes, they were eagerly ready for this race, and why wouldn't they? I mean, it was their 125th anniversary, and they came out in support with their white livery. I mean, that's what they used in 1950s, which they dumped back then just to save 1 kg. But just to pay homage to their history and to stay true to their roots, they went with the white livery.
Absolutely, totally agree with you. Yeah.
Yeah, and even Force India was really
You
looking
mean to say
forward to
Racing
this
Point, Raul?
weekend.
Racing Point.
Yeah, whatever. I will eventually get it. They were really looking forward to this race. Apparently, the boys at the factory had put together a bunch of upgrades on the car, and they were looking really strong coming into the
Correct,
weekend.
right. Things in the Ferrari garage too were looking good. Both the Ferraris did amazingly well in the practice sessions, but things went bad for the Italians in the qualifying,
You
which
mean qualifying had them shitting their pants?
that I mean,
I guess that's what happens when you're actually ravioli diet. Yeah, qualifying looked really promising, but like as soon as Vettel went out on track for his outlap, he immediately came back in with some engine issues, and I mean Charles as well wasn't even able to go out into Q3. So you had Vettel starting 20th
I mean,
and Charles
imagine
starting
Italians
10th.
in Germany. They obviously have an asthma attack post World War II, right?
jeez, oh my god. Okay,
gosh.
so well, that happened in qualifying. So I think qualifying saw a lot of surprising things. But other than that, you had your normal things happening. You had Lewis Hamilton in pole. You had Max Verstappen on the front with him in the second position, and you had Bottas in third. Sebastian started P20 after not being able to set a lap, and
That
you had
was
Charles
very
Leclerc.
painful for Sebastian, I would say. I mean, he being the world champion racer and starting for P20.
Yeah, that's. I mean, this is the first time a Williams didn't finish P20. I mean, wow, that start P20. I mean, so I think that was an achievement for Williams too.
Yeah, that's a pretty brilliant achievement for them.
And you had Charles Leclerc starting in 10th place after a terrible Q3. So qualifying also saw a lot of things. You had Alexander Albon starting 4th. And yeah, so that was qualifying. So qualifying was pretty dramatic. But other than that, the race. Oh my,
Yes.
my.
The
race.
The race started
race was-
more bad than Peter Jensen, man. So we had all drivers on bets. But 4 laps in, and safety car came out, so we had a pit strategy here. And Mercedes were brilliant in it. Mercedes went for a double pit strat. And Ham came in, pit crew did their
They were
ballet dance.
beautiful at that time.
And then as soon as Hamilton left, that's when Bottas came in and the ballet dance started again. That was pretty beautiful to
That
watch.
was-
I mean,
that
this
was-
is what
that was
F1 is all
beautiful to watch.
about. The perfect coordination of teams, the drivers, the cars, the mechanics, everyone. This double pit strat is, in my opinion, a feat of its own.
It is definitely, I mean,
Yeah, that just goes to show how good the Merc pit crew is when they actually have a little bloody warning instead of just barging in and asking for a new bloody nose. I'm sure the stupid system
And
can find
this, all this happened in just that same race.
Like, can we take a minute to appreciate? Yeah, man, can we take a minute to appreciate how long 54 seconds
54
is?
seconds in. So let's put this into perspective. Your normal pit stop is about 2.5 seconds long. Now 54 seconds in terms of Formula One is a
Whole
lifetime.
lap
It's
in or around Monza, right?
it's
I mean, a lap around that track.
Yeah.
yeah, it's
10
3/4.
seconds.
It's 3/4.
Oh,
It's almost
okay.
90% of your time of your lap time. So it's like 54 seconds in bed. It's fine, not that great. 54 seconds in F1 is fucking long. It's long. I mean, you wouldn't. No one wants that. 54 seconds in bed, okay, fine. Some will have to. You might have to satisfy yourself with it, but in Formula One, no.
I would like to issue a public apology to all of Kshitj's exes. Like, I'm sorry, man.
Anyway, so that was Mercedes pit stop, a 54-second pit stop, which is, I don't know, man. That's how old a grandmother is in reality. I mean, when you compare it in terms of F1, that's how old she's supposed to be. But anyway, so now when we go and look at Racing Point, I think they had,
What?
Racing Point, they had Lance Stroll go onto slicks, onto soft tires. I mean, you had the rest of the field out there on inters. I mean, thinking about this, it was a big gamble, and then the gamble paid off.
Yeah, it paid off because you saw Stroll was
He was P1 for quite some time. I mean, the dry line really helped. The track dried up, and there was no sign of any rain. I think that really helped them a lot. So, yeah, I think.
I think Ferrari should learn a thing or two from the Racing
Point.
Like that stuff.
I mean, when it comes to strategy, I think this was one of the most beautiful races we've watched. You got Mercedes double pit stop. You got the Force India going on slicks. I think this was really nice. Talking about strategy, you had Max Verstappen go on mediums. I mean, what do you think about that? Because I think your medium now. Okay, so for all those who don't know how tires work, you have your soft tires, your medium compounds, and your hard compounds. The soft one gives you the best grip, and you have mediums which give you average grip, and you have hards that give you the least grip, but they give you the most mileage. So in terms of mileage, you have the softs which give you the least. Now medium is a balance between the two. So I really don't know what Red Bull were thinking. You're giving Max Verstappen the.
So I think they were hoping that the track would dry up, and the mediums would then take him much further into the race. But I mean, with a cold track like that, and like
the tires,
you could see even then Verstappen spun on mediums, right? So
he did spin.
That's why he went back in and went for inters later.
Yeah, the tires were just too cold for the track. So anyway,
why is there silence? Did I leave?
No, it's there. So anyway, now let's talk about retirements. I mean,
yes.
I mean, the retirements were.
I mean, for all races, this was absolutely not short on retirements. First of all, the race started on wets. So, in fact, we got to witness the safety car on track for more time than Sergio Perez, who retired the first. It was not Norris, bro. It was Sergio Perez. And
it was Sergio Perez who retired. Norris, I think, beat
Norris retired last. The last one to retire.
He retired last.
Yeah. So, as always with the buggy things, they disappointed us with DNF for both their cars with mechanical failures.
Yeah, I mean, Renault.
Dude.
Yeah.
No. The Hülkenberg crashed.
Hülkenberg. Oh, fuck, Hülkenberg crashed.
Yeah, Hülkenberg crashed from P3, which was real. Like, I was really rooting for him, man. German race, he was going to finish.
Imagine rooting for Nico Hülkenberg in Renault. F for Raul.
It's a recipe for.
I mean, you had Renault had been struggling with their engine throughout the season. I mean, no doubt they had engine issues throughout. You had, I think last season it was Red Bull who ditched Renault for Honda because of the same issue. So I think.
Listen. McLaren being a very dominant team in 90s, in 2000s, they went for Renault, and now look where they are. That shows the scale how Renault can fuck your team.
I mean, last season it felt like Daniel Ricciardo retired for more races than he actually finished. I know that's not true.
I rarely saw Daniel Ricciardo in the top 10 either.
White smoke out of the back of that car. Like,
so continuing with the retirements, we later had Pierre Gasly retiring, and then Leclerc ending up on the wall as well after pushing too hard in the final turn. That's where the Drax tape begins.
So that final turn was actually really interesting. It's where the
it is a very slippery area over there. You had Hamilton go off over there as well. I think the really long pit stop, that's where it happened. So, and I think Bottas
Yeah, all of like most of them. I think Bottas went out there, Leclerc went out there,
Hulkenberg there too.
went out
Even
there, if I'm not
Hamilton went out
mistaken.
there. Just that he kept his engine
Spun.
running so he could come
Hamilton
back
had that
He managed
just
to.
for his
Q20
disappointment of
zone.
54 seconds of pit stop.
You even had, I think, what's his name? Carlos Sainz, I think. He managed to get the car over there, but he was able to keep the engine running. Yeah.
Continue to go.
Yeah, but what Hulkenberg did.
So it was
Yeah.
the second you got the second, if even if one of your wheels got off the track onto that drag strip, that was
Yeah.
it, because it was just steady water, slippery surface.
And then you
There
had
was no hope.
Hulkenberg who slammed his brakes over there. I mean, that's not what you're supposed to do. That's the worst thing you can do over there. It's a very amateuristic mistake that he
I
made
think
over there, which costed him
In
the third
2018,
place. And
Vettel did the same mistake, right? Slamming on his brakes.
no,
That's the turn
no, but
where he went out.
that wasn't that wasn't the final turn though. I think that was just before the final turn, the really long left-hander.
Yeah.
I think and that happened.
Yeah,
And he had
Yeah,
a
that was
nice
it.
10-second lead over Lewis Hamilton and said, I mean, who does that, man? That was really disappointing. Being a Ferrari fan, that's really disappointing.
although P20 to P2 is a pretty good redemption, right?
Sorry?
This race was his redemption of last year. The
Oh,
way
this race, I mean,
Yeah, P20 to
this
P2.
race was unbelievably good for him. You saw him go from P20 to P2. I mean, that was some amazing driving right there. I haven't seen anyone drive like that in a while. I mean, you had, I think, yeah,
Montoya did that, I think, in
Montoya
2005.
in 2005. Pablo he went from P20 to P2. Yeah, Montoya did go
Yes.
from P20 to P2. That was some amazing driving by the German over there, and the Ferrari performed well too. Now for Charles Leclerc crashed out after a really good race too. He was in P2, I guess, before crashing out. Think, yeah, during
Yeah, I
the
think
race,
so.
Ferrari seemed to look good, but then Charles Leclerc crashing out. You had Bottas crashing out, and you had Pierre Gasly who crashed out. So you had one driver from each of the top three crash out, which meant fewer points for the top three. But
I think Gasly's was just
If you look at
stupid though. He completely
Yeah,
went into
I think-
Albon.
yeah, I think he went
Wait.
into Alexander Albon. He drove into Alexander Albon, I guess.
Too much to prove, and not enough. I don't know what it is with him and that Red
He
Bull,
just doesn't. Yeah.
because he managed to finally get his podium
With the Toro Rosso.
Rosso
Yeah, exactly. I think
season.
the issue with Gasly was he wasn't able to, how Fernando Alonso needs the car suited to himself. Like Fernando Alonso struggles.
Yeah, and you're not going to
with
get
Red
that.
Bull. I mean,
You're not going to get that in a team with. You're not going to get that in a team
Exactly.
with Max Verstappen, because I mean the entire team is going to be.
Max
built around
Verstappen,
him.
like that's one of the reasons why you had Daniel Ricciardo leave the team and go to Renault. I mean, I would have loved to see
Right.
Daniel Ricciardo at Red Bull. I mean, what an amazing driver! I think he had 7 wins with them, which I think was very impressive for a driver like him. He's a really great driver.
Yeah, but I don't think he showed the same makings that Max
Oh.
has shown, which is, I mean, you need to talk about Max. Like this race, second, given he started from second, but I mean he had a terrible start. And he was
Yeah, you have
right at the back,
P5.
right at the
He
back,
dropped to
but I mean he
P5.
lost a lot
P4,
of pace.
P5. Both the Red Bulls actually.
Right,
Both the Red Bulls
and-
struggled with the start. Yeah, you had Kimi.
Start. But I mean, he went on to win the race, which
I think
I mean is
when
pretty
it's-
impressive given all the.
If it's raining, it definitely has to be Max Verstappen who will win. We saw the same in 2016, Brazil, and we
Yeah, I think we've got a new
definitely. I think
rain
after
monster.
Michael Schumacher, it has to be Max Verstappen. And as we talk about the start of the race, you had Kimi Raikkonen who managed himself to get to P3. I mean, that was really great. While you had Carlos Sainz struggling for grip a little bit at the start, but Kimi Raikkonen had a terrible finish. He finished outside the points. Other than that, I think, that was most of the start.
Yeah, and while this was all happening, while all the chaos ensued in the background, Kvyat managed to see himself in P3, which is
Yeah, I mean,
really
for-
impressive.
Imagine,
for a
imagine
Toro
Red
Rosso.
Bull at first, and then Kvyat with his Toro Rosso, the sister team of Red Bull, in third, and Gasly was nowhere to be seen.
Yep.
I mean, Gasly was a disaster at Red Bull. We can all agree to that. I mean, I think the move was made too early for him. But yeah, that's right. I mean, Kvyat going to P3, Torpedo making it
The
to P3, and
torpedo.
you had Sebastian Vettel right in front of him. I was scared
Yeah.
for my life. I mean, I'm a Tifosi, so definitely I'm gonna be afraid when I see
The China
Kvyat around some China flashbacks.
The
Right.
torpedo.
Oh my god, that annoyed me so much. But yeah, so that was that. You had Daniil Kvyat finishing P3. You had Sebastian Vettel with an amazing P2, starting from P20 after not being able to set a lap during qualifying. I think in his home GP, he did a really great job. And of course, you had the king of the rain, Max Verstappen, who made it to P1 from P2 after a terrible start. You had Lance Stroll finishing an impressive P4, giving Racing Point their best finish in Formula 1. Carlos Sainz and his McLaren finished P5, followed by Alexander Albon in P6. Gunther Steiner's men finished P7 and P8 even after they made themselves look like a bunch of wankers. I think there was a point when both of the teammates touched.
Yeah, they hit each other again.
They touched, and
I don't
I
even know
think
what
at
to
that
say,
moment
man.
Gunther Steiner was like, okay, fuck, I cannot deal with these guys anymore. And now you had Lewis Hamilton finishing a P9 after getting a 5-second penalty for going over the wrong side of the bollard during the 54-second long pit stop. Now, you're going to be...
Yeah, man. Adding salt to it, adding insult to injury, man.
I mean, of course. Anyway, now, the biggest surprise of all. You had Robert Kubica score a point in P10. I mean, Williams in the
Oh.
points. I did not see that coming. I mean, no.
I think a Williams in P10 is all the advertisement that this race needs. So if you haven't
I mean,
seen it,
Yeah,
Kids, guys,
Williams scored a
if-
point
Go and
out
find
of
it.
all. That's
Yeah, I
how
mean-
crazy this race was.
You had Kimi Raikkonen starting. I think he was in P3 till for the first couple of laps, and he finished out of the points. I mean, that was unbelievable. You had Robert Kubica finishing P10 and scoring a point. I mean, Claire Williams will be proud of him. I mean, most probably the first point he's ever scored in Formula One. So
it was probably the first point she's ever scored in her life, too.
I mean, the downfall of Williams. We need to speak about that sometime. I mean, you go from Frank Williams winning, I don't know how many championships, 5 championships, I think, or 7 championships.
Five.
The second most successful team, I think it is in F1
think-
to
Yeah.
running around in 19th and 20th.
I mean, P19, P20, and Williams is a better love story than Twilight, I guess. So,
Of course it is.
so, so that was it for the German GP, the 2019 German GP, which was definitely the most exciting race, guys. If you all haven't watched it, I suggest you do watch this race. You will be entertained. I think all of us can agree upon one thing: the 2019 German GP was definitely a contender for the race of the decade. So I think I'll say that part. Okay, so that was it for the 2019 German GP, guys. We'll be back next time, so stay tuned. And yes, that was it for today. See you guys. Thank you. Bye, Drax. Bye, Raul. Bye, guys. Stay home. Stay safe.
See you, man. Bye. Stay home, stay safe. And cut, right?